Hello traders, let us quickly talk about the fundamentals, and today we're going to be talking about the tariffs, the US tariffs on Mexico, China and Canada, how these tariffs are likely to shape the markets and the direction that this is likely to potentially push the markets. Of course, you have to now pair this with the fundamental analysis, with the technical analysis that goes with it. Now, if you find this video on YouTube, don't forget to please like, share and subscribe, and if you find it anywhere on social media, give me a follow. All right, so number one, let us start from Mexico. I want you to understand that Mexico, 76% of the products that Mexico exports are sent to the US. Now this is a huge chunk of Mexico's GDP coming in from the United States. Now if you have a huge chunk of your GDP coming in from somewhere, and that would now mean, let's say for instance, a car used to be sold for $50,000. That car would come in from Mexico. Now that car with a 25% tariff, that means that car is likely to have 50%, 25% of 50. That would be 12.5. So we're going to have $12,500 extra on a car of $50,000. That's actually $62,500. That's what it means it's going to cost. Now what Trump is trying to do. He's trying to force manufacturers to come back into America. So if you want to produce in Mexico, you want to produce in Canada, and then come and sell in the US, that is not going to happen. If you want to do business, bring your factory into America, produce in America, or sell to the American population or the American consumers. So that is what Trump is racing for. Now, if you sell 76% of your products and they hit you with tariff, definitely you should be careful when dealing with such an economy. Now, meanwhile, on the other hand, you look at Canada. Canada equally has around 76%. For Mexico, it is 79.6%. Sorry, for Mexico, it is 79%. For Canada, it is 76%. So Canada is pushing 76% of its products to America. But I want you to understand something. How much does America now export to Canada and to Mexico? Now, when you're looking at Mexico, the export from America to Mexico is 1.23%, and for Canada is around 2.3%. You can see it's very small compared to what they are bringing in. So these economies are basically biting a huge chunk of the American economy, and that is what Donald Trump is absolutely trying to stop. Looking at China, the US exports 7.5% of its total exports to China, and China exports around 17.13% of its exports to the US. So you can see that all of these business partners that the US is hitting hard, these are countries that do business with America and they benefit more from America. That means they sell more to America than America actually sells to them. So that is the meaning of all this. So one thing you have to understand, and now recently the Prime Minister of Canada, if I say the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, just secured another victory that is likely to keep him in office. And now, of course, he's saying he's going to hit US products with tariff. They're going to retaliate and they're going to send tariffs to the US products. But one thing you have to know is you cannot send tariffs to someone that is ultimately bigger than you. Of course, you have a lot more to lose in the tariff war compared to US. So if Canada sells 76% of its products to America and the US sells very little to Canada, around 2.3% of its GDP comes from Canada, 19% of Mexican GDP comes from America. 17% of Canadian GDP comes from America. So you can see that these guys, they have a lot more to lose and they cannot win the war. So one thing this is going to tell you is that should the tariff continue, should we see a sustained tariff war between China, US and Mexico, these currencies are going to weaken against the dollar. That is the honest truth. They cannot win in a battle against the dollar. Now, China has chosen not to retaliate with tariffs. Instead, China has chosen to file a lawsuit with the World Trade Organization. Now, filing a lawsuit with the World Trade Organization, could maybe try to twist the arms of the US or try to force the US to come to the negotiation table so that they can review all of these tariffs and all of these things. But of course, Mexico and Canada, they have gone ahead to hit the US products with tariffs as well, which I don't think is a wise thing to do. The best thing to do is come to the negotiation table and try to find a good deal in between. You're going to have to let go of some things when it comes to negotiations, and I'm not sure continuing with the tariffs is going to be very good for the currencies of this country. So if you're not going to look at let's say for instance the Canadian dollar, going forward, most likely we are likely going to see the Canadian dollar push higher. That is what could likely be the situation if this continues. We are likely going to see the Canadian dollar, trade higher, going forward in the coming weeks and months if that is sustained. If that is sustained, the Canadian currency cannot withstand the onslaught of what the dollar will throw at them. Canadian dollar is going to weaken, and that would mean that US dollar against the CAD, USD CAD is going to trade much higher. And of course, if I quickly just look at USD MXN right here, of course, it's not my go-to pair. I know some guys would probably be interested in trading, some guys would probably be interested in trading the exotics. I don't know anybody who trades exotics anyway, but it makes sense to look at it and how it could likely affect things. The technical side of things shows that the market is trading heavily at buy-side liquidity, which could indicate a major sell-off. However, if something fundamental happens, if there's some fundamental shift, within the price of the market, then this could continue to push higher. But of course, technically, what I can see in front of me right here is a bearish situation in the market, where you have the market trading at buy-side liquidity. Most likely, the market could sell to the downside technically. But if you see any push or any aggressive price action that sends USD MXN to the upside, that is a fundamental reason behind that, and not anything technical, of course, within the market. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this has helped you in one way or another. If you like this video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe. And if you find it anywhere on social media, don't forget to follow. All right? Cheers. CTA.